Hello friends, this is Brian Allman with the Gem State Chronicle. It's been a while since I came to you on video, but I wanted to come to you today to share some of the new features at the Gem State Chronicle website. I've been working on the site for a couple of days now, and I feel like for the first time in the year and a half since I launched gemstatechronicle.com, I've finally gotten it the way I want it. So I want to share that with you, show you some of the features so that you know how to navigate it and how to use it and get the most out of it. And also, obviously, open it up in case you have suggestions for anything else I could do. So without further ado, let's bring it up here. So here we are, gemstatechronicle.com. As you can see, if it's been a while since you've been here, I really shrunk the masthead here. I was talking to some experts in web design and search engine optimization, and pointed out that a really, really big masthead that takes up most of the screen, especially if you're on mobile, is going to drive away people. It's not going to be an inviting place for people to go spend their time. So I shrunk it down, made it about as small as possible. If you look up here, here's the menus. I've got About, the Archive, which is all my posts, Idaho Insider, more on that in a moment. Guest opinions, that's basically articles, opinion articles from anyone but me, such as, I regularly repost things from the governor, the attorney general, the chairwoman of the Idaho GOP, Brent Regan, and several others. If you want me to post something of yours, let me know. I'm always willing to. Letters to the editor. I haven't gotten one of those in a while, but if you just want a little short snippet that you want published, go ahead and send it. I used to do it every Wednesday. Way back during election season last fall, people were sending them in every week, but haven't gotten one in a while, but it's open there. Press releases is exactly what it says. List of different organizations that are involved in the conservative movement. List of different outlets that are conservative, right of center, and different resources, things like list of legislation, my page on watching the legislature, how to register to vote. Email Idaho is a good tool to email everybody at once. The Freedom Index, the LLC lookup, all of these things. WONK is Mountain States Policy's new AI. Hopefully they'll keep that going and keep improving that. Subscribe brings you over to the subscription page. More on that in a moment as well. Contact is just an email link. And of course, if you want to donate without subscribing, it's right there. And then all the links to social media. By the way, this links to the Gem State Chron social media account on X, and that's where I just post all the Gem State Chronicle stuff, press releases and opinion pieces, and obviously my articles. I was just going to say real quick that my own Twitter handle is finally back to the way it should be. For years, I registered on Twitter in 2008. As @BrianAllman, my name. And that's my username for everything across the entire internet. But back during the previous regime on Twitter, that account was unjustly banned. And when Elon Musk bought the platform, I tried to get it unbanned and they rejected it. Well, I decided, hey, why not? Try again. I was inspired by learning about Cliff Maloney's journey to get a hold of the @Maloney handle. Unfortunately, the person who's sitting on @Allman is some guy who registered 16 years ago and never posted, so I have no idea how to contact them. But I figured, hey, I'll give it a shot and see if I can get my own name back, and they said yes. So there we go. I transferred the username, and I left the old account as just kind of a parking spot in case people are searching for me there. So you can find me on X @BrianAllman. I'm pretty excited. Anyway, back to the Gem State Chronicle. I tweaked this ticker. So I was using a plugin for the ticker, but I had to go in and manually put things in, and I would never remember to do that, so it would just sit there with old stuff all the time. What this is, ChatGPT actually helped me with this. This is not a plugin. This is just pure PHP and CSS, and it takes the most recent articles that are published on the site, whether it's my articles or press releases or op-eds, and just sticks them up there. And I was able to tweak the size and the font and the speed. You notice if I hover over it, it stops, so you have a chance to click on something. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. It's just a running ticker showing you the latest things that are published. So these cards are my latest articles. I was trying for a while to use a magazine layout where the title and excerpt and things were displayed above the picture, on top of the picture. But I found that with different kinds of pictures, that was making it hard to read. Either it was too dark or too light. It just wasn't coming in well. So I went back to the card layout. It's the most recent 6 articles, so basically the last week's worth of articles. And I think it's fine. I think it looks good. Next, sponsors. Thank you again to Lynn Bradescu of Boise Realty Group. She is a pillar of the community over there in Boise. She is, a conservative leader. She was the impetus behind the flag bill this year, which, well, Mayor McLean is blatantly ignoring, but that's not Lynn's fault. The organizer of the Syringa Speaker Series, a force in Boise's North End. So yeah, go check out Lynn. Go if you're moving or one of your friends is moving here. See if she'll help you out, and tell her that I sent you. So next up, I put this little masthead here, this little hero image of Idaho Insider. So as you know, Idaho Insider is the one-stop shop to learn all about our elected officials. Say our legislative branch. I've got profiles for all 105 legislators with their, it's Representative Gannon here just for a random, their biography from the legislative website, how long they've been in office, what committees they're on, scorecards. Being a Democrat, he doesn't score well on the conservative scorecards. Links to their websites, social media accounts. Ballotpedia tells you their electoral history and who they ran against. Official email is that, at house.idaho.gov. But then personal email is whatever's displayed on, say, their campaign website. If I happen to know a legislator's personal email that's not published, I'm not going to share that, obviously. But if it's published elsewhere, then I will link to it here. And then finally, their newsletter. And this is cool. This is my favorite little thing. This is a plugin, a WordPress plugin, that takes anything in which Representative Gannon here is mentioned and puts it in a list of articles. So it's just a simple keyword search, and I created 105 of these, one for each legislator, and one for the governor too. His is really long because obviously he's involved in a lot of things. And it just displays the most recent articles that person was mentioned in, which is pretty cool. And then a map of the District 17 in Boise. Idaho Insider, legislative branch, executive branch. The judicial I have linking over to the Idaho Bench Project, which is a nonprofit project I'm working on with Senator Tammy Nichols. It was kind of pushed to the back burner with the legislative session, but it's still there. We're still working on it, and hopefully we'll have something to show fairly soon. So these are our 7 statewide elected officials. And remember, all 7 of these people, in addition to all 105 legislators, are going to be on the ballot in 2026. So next year is going to be a huge election year. Go check that out. And this little image here just makes it easier to get to that. It's linked up here in the menu, but it's very easy to miss. So I figure put it here, and maybe people will notice it. And I think that's a cool little button. I tweaked it a bit. Coming up next, we have the guest opinions. It was showing the most recent 4, but I trimmed it down to the most recent 3. So we got Senator Risch, Congressman Fulcher, Congressman Simpson. Obviously a lot of conservatives are frustrated with, one or more of these men and might be asking, why are you publishing them? And I think no matter whether you agree with them or disagree, the things that our elected representatives have to say are important. Even if you think they're completely lying, it's still important to know what they're saying, so that you can go and understand what's going on, maybe react, maybe you find some piece of information that makes you want to call their office and ask for clarification, or write a letter to the editor in your local newspaper talking about something you read. Their public statements, I think, are important. So that is why I've really made an effort to be republishing guest opinions and press releases from all our elected officials. I'll be adding even more in the near future, so stay tuned. But this is pretty cool. Over on the right-hand side, you can see the Idaho Dispatch links. So I asked Greg Pruitt, editor of the Dispatch, if he'd mind if I linked to his site. You shouldn't mind if somebody wants to send you more traffic. So, and he was fine with it. So this is just an RSS feed of the latest links from the Idaho Dispatch. As you know, or maybe you don't know, the Dispatch was founded by Greg Pruitt. He's also the president of the Idaho Second Amendment Alliance, and it's. Whereas my platform, The Chronicle, is a lot of analysis and commentary, the Dispatch is a lot more straight news. I don't know if you can see it on the screen here. I guess I can zoom in, right? He's been covering the Caldwell recall effort. Citizens in Caldwell attempted to recall their council members. The petition came up short, but it's exposing a lot of tension in that community, and he's been covering that really well. He also does his own op-eds. This is from James Wilson. He did an interview with Chloe Cole, very very famous young lady who transitioned, got a double mastectomy at the age of 15, which I'm told doesn't happen, but obviously it does. But then she realized what a mistake that was, and even though she had irreversible damage done to herself, she's out there crusading to help others understand what's going on and how to fight against that ideology. So Greg talked to her, and that's again something you should check out. And then on this side, I have the same thing except for Local Yokel Idaho, which is a platform. It's a little bit less well known than the Dispatch, but it also has its own unique focus. Tyler Burton over there has been doing episodes, video episodes is what most of these are, where he talks about different things that are going on in our state. Not always political, sometimes political. But then he also has like this $86,000 boost for the endowment fund, House Bill 371, just kind of a deep dive into the different laws that were passed this year. It's the sort of thing that I wish I was doing, but with everything else I'm doing, I just don't have time, and he's already doing it, so I reinvent the wheel. So again, I asked him if he'd mind if I just displayed his latest headline, so go check it out. Hopefully both the Dispatch and the Local Yokel here will see a little boost in traffic from you. That would be great. And then of course we have press releases here. The Attorney General's issuing a lot of press releases because he's doing a lot of stuff going after bad people out there. The governor just appointed someone to the judiciary. So those are always interesting. We want to know what's going on. This is I want this to be a resource for you, so you can come in and see. Just look at the last few press releases, see what people are saying, see what they're doing. So, and then finally at the bottom is this little subscribe today. So about a year ago, I put in a little pop-up, and it was very unobtrusive. It wasn't bad. It had a big old X to close it, and once you closed it, if you wouldn't see it again for 30 days. It would set a cookie to remind it not to show up for 30 days. Later, I tried to delay it by 30 seconds, so it came on later. But even then, I was finding that it was causing the page to slow down. I was using a tool called Google Page Speed to evaluate how quickly the page loads, because Google uses that to determine how high it ranks your page in its algorithm. If you have a page that seems to be really slow, they're not going to rank it very high because they figure people don't want to go there. So I've been using that to make the page as efficient as possible. Your time's valuable. You don't need to sit there and wait for my website to load. That's not a pleasant experience. And I was finding that pop-up, even when it wasn't loading, was taking up a ton of resources and just slowing things down. So I got rid of it. No more pop-ups on the Gem State Chronicle. Instead, we have this little banner at the very bottom of the page inviting you to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you click sign up now, that just brings you to the Substack page for a subscription, where you can be a free subscriber or a paid subscriber if you wish to support my work. So that's basically it. I used to have long columns on the bottom with the 10 most recent articles. I figure that's kind of superfluous. You can come up here, you can go to the archive and see my articles going all the way back to the beginning, the last 18 months. You can go up to guest opinions and you see a grid layout of all the recent guest opinions. By the way, it was about a month or two ago that I started tweaking the thumbnail images. I'd been using just random backgrounds, trying to match them to whatever the person was standing in front of before I erased the background. But I figured, I wanted something uniform, something that looked really professional. So I came up with this step and repeat pattern, and just put them in front of each one. Sometimes I try to use the most professional headshot that anybody has. In some cases, like Brent Regan there, that's the picture he uses for stuff, so that's what I'll use. For a multi-author thing, the Gang of Eight has this image here. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I hope this is a valuable resource for you. Same thing with press releases. Press releases look a lot like op-eds, but in this case, I forgot to put the word release in front of that. I'll fix that after I'm done recording this. In this case, releases are just official press releases, and so I'm just republishing them with no, with nothing else. It's whatever they're saying is what you read here. Idaho GOP new executive director, Governor Little boasting about our good credit rating. Greg Furch, former state representative, is announcing another run. This is my image for if I don't have anything specific. Greg Furch hasn't written anything for me before, so I didn't have a thumbnail. So I just use this as a default. I might tweak that, make something that looks similar to my existing images. Anyway, so yeah, those things are at the top. If you want to read anything else that's left, just click on the masthead and it'll take you back to the home page. It's snappy, it runs quick. It's got a lot of information all right here for you. So I hope that this website will be a valuable tool for you. I hope that it's pleasant and, in fact, even entertaining for you to visit the site. Make sure to bookmark it, check it every day. If you're already subscribed to the Gem State Chronicle, you get my articles in your email once a day. But there's so much more here than just articles. And from the very beginning, my intention was that this wouldn't be just a newsletter. This is not just me talking. I want this to be a resource, a tool for you to be an engaged voter, to be a more effective citizen of the Republic. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you next time.